Club. Good afternoon. My second speech is to speak of purpose. I have prepared my introductory speech, and I got to talking, and before I knew it, my time was up. So my purpose today is to tell you a little bit more about the information that I didn't get to tell you at the beginning. Miss Eleanor, she gave me I thought was a really good piece of advice. You know, the speeches they build. You know, you say who you are, you talk with purpose, we have these speeches and we're going to build on it. So I would like to build on my first speech with my second speech. I have a lot of information. Now, as you know, both my parents are still alive and they live in Little Rock, California. They had 4 children, which produced 38 great-grandchildren. Still growing. My nieces and nephews are still having kids. So I have a lot of work to do. And my grandmother, I knew my grandmother. I was fortunate enough to grow up to where, in a time when my grandmother was still alive. She lived into her early 90s, and she stayed with my mother and father in Palmdale, when she was a great inspiration to us all, because she was the one that had us singing all the little Christian songs. We'd go over to her house on 83rd and sing little Christian songs. And so as our children grew up, she would rock them. We'd take them up to Palmdale, we'd rock them. And anytime you called, she'd answer the phone. So it was a great privilege to have her. I am married. I live with my husband, Melvin Plummer, and he's the greatest husband ever. I couldn't have been blessed more. I prayed about it, and God sent me this man. And so I really appreciate him. And it's something that if he were to die, I would never get married again. I would be very thankful for the time that God gave me with my husband now. He's never hindered me from practicing my religious as I've known it from a child. And that's been the biggest blessing, a big blessing. And Christ sent him to me. I do believe that. 2 of our unions were, 2 children were born of our union as Marcus and Aaron. And they have children. He's blessed me with 2 granddaughters, just 2. And no matter, as I mentioned before, how much grief they give me, they're my children, and I love them very much, very much. And next, my 2 granddaughters, Kennedy and Devon, and they are a joy of my life. And when I talk about my family, I'm talking about myself, because in my nieces and nephews, my children, my grandchildren, I see in them things that are characteristic of Christ. I see them love. You know, when they're little, they love unconditionally. And they grow up, and then they learn bad habits, and then they have to unlearn them. But it's how we put into those little computer brains the things that we're going to get out of it. And bringing them to church. You know, their parents allowing me to bring them to church. It gives me an opportunity to show them, to expose them to all of you that have Christ living in you, so that they can see, living today in a relative world, a reality in this world, how Christ is interacting with other people through you. And I thank you for that. I really thank God to that small family, my nieces and nephews. There are 4 of them, which you know today. I have 38 of them, in fact, and they are a variety of sorts, of all ages. And I look forward to working with them, trying to get them to camp, to camp, and to enjoy church. They attend different services, but their parents, my nieces and nephews, are taking them to church when they can, which is very important to me, because when we speak as a family and we have our family Bible studies in the morning, which I don't always attend, then the children are exposed to that. And I think that's really good. That's something that my father is hanging on to and having us do. And to that, my church family, you all have watched me grow up from a toddler to a grandmother, and I love you all. I have no pets, and when my boys were growing up, we had about 60 rabbits, 3 rock warblers, some chickens, some turtles, some pigeons, some fish, along the way, and other animals that we had during our lifetime. I wanted to show them God's creations, you know, that this chicken, you know, and this rooster made that egg. Now, which came first, the chicken or the egg? And to show them how in creation, God made all the animals, and He made that duck-billed platypus. He had humor in creation, and that how we can come along and we can see some of the characteristics of God by taking care of these rabbits, by taking care of these dogs, and how everything is in order. So we went through that experiment, and that was very fulfilling. Okay, and I get a little unnerved. Sorry. There is so much I want to say about share with you, and it just seems to go so fast, so fast. I am so sorry, and I'm not sorry. And I want to thank you for listening. Thank you very much.